I think that as judges, we need to learn enough to do no harm. And we have to, A, remember that we're not doctors and that we shouldn't try to diagnose people and that we shouldn't use the court to enforce what we think is the best course of treatment for them. But we need to know enough to be able to talk appropriately to someone who may be in a crisis or about to be in a crisis, so you avoid triggering a situation in court where you understand why they may be reacting to you in a way that's not intended to be offensive, so you don't overreact. And you need to know your system well enough so you know where to send someone to get them access to good treatment. And then how to monitor the case so that we're not overbearing, but at the same time we're encouraging them to stay into treatment.
Behavioral health services are provided in a variety of settings by a broad range of healthcare professionals. It's important to understand what's available within your community, how to access it, what the eligibility criteria are, and what services are provided. In that way, you can assure that treatment services are matched to the needs of your clients. In any given year, approximately 22% of the United States adult population will be diagnosed with a behavioral disorder. That's comprised of 16% of individuals who will meet criteria for mental illness and about 9% of individuals that meet criteria for substance use disorders. Within the mental illness population, those individuals that have significant disability, along with diagnosis and a duration of a year or greater, can meet criteria for serious mental illness. And furthermore, within that category, there are a group of individuals whose functional impairments are quite severe, meeting our diagnostic criteria for severe or severe and persistent mental illnesses. The relationship between mental illnesses and substance use disorders is complex. Acute and chronic substance use can produce psychiatric symptoms. For example, an individual that abuses cocaine may present with prominent paranoid features. Substance withdrawal can cause psychiatric symptoms. In the early stages of withdrawal from alcohol dependence, hallucinations are a common symptom. Substance use can mask psychiatric symptoms. An individual that abuses amphetamines may make it difficult to recognize the underlying depressive symptoms that exist. Psychiatric disorders can mimic symptoms associated with substance use, so that schizophrenia and its associated hallucinations may appear to be the result of drugs that cause hallucinations. The last two bullets on this slide are those individuals that have co-occurring disorders, where acute and chronic substance use can exacerbate that psychiatric disorder, or the acute and chronic psychiatric disorders can exacerbate recovery process from the addictive disorders. Each of these considerations go into a comprehensive assessment of the presenting signs, symptoms, and behaviors that individuals with behavioral disorders present with in clinical settings.
It's all about being empathic and hopeful, giving that person hope that things can be better if that's what you want. That's what it's all about. It's all about hope. Instill hope in them because they have none, really. It's all been taken away from them. So hope's a big thing.
There are specific services that have been associated with good public health and public safety outcomes for those individuals with behavioral disorders involved in the criminal justice system. It's important to include these evidence-based practices on the menu of options for consideration in matching treatment to the needs of particular individuals. The science of the treatment of behavioral disorders is robust. Over the last several decades, we have made great strides in understanding what works for whom and under what circumstances. Unfortunately, many people do not have access to the evidence-based practices that come from this science. It's only the closing of this gap between science and service that will allow us to achieve the positive public health and public safety outcomes that we all value.